Hello everyone, how are you guys doing today? And I'm gonna be doing a live stream, basically PM session tape reading, and I'm gonna start soon. So can you guys let me know that if you can hear me loud and clear in the chat, and after that we can start. Thank you. I'm doing a PM session tape reading today because I saw a really nice setup here, and I just got back home. It's Eid today, so whoever is Muslim here, Eid Mubarak to you. So I was just praying and outside chilling with my friends, and I just got back home and I saw this setup, which looks very good to me, and that's the reason I'm gonna be tape reading this setup. I thought like I'm gonna be tape reading it alone, so why not just tape read with you all so I can enjoy here, right? So this is a setup that I saw on higher time frame. The reason behind me coming live is because of the relative equal high that is resting here. Okay, above this level, there's a lot of buy side liquidity, and price will reach here. Okay, eventually price will come here. So I want to see like if price delivers liquidity all the way up here today or not. Okay, because we are done with like high impact news. We have high impact news tomorrow at like 2:30 at the London session. 8 a.m. session, we only got like one high impact news, the GDP, final GDP at 8:30. Yeah, after that there's like not many high impact news that's coming. So let's see if price delivers liquidity all the way up here, and I'll just tape it throughout the whole session. Like I'll tape it till 2 o'clock today, and I'll be tape reading like two macros basically, 120 to 140, and then 250 to 310. I hope I'll be there to tape read the last one. So let's see what price present to us right now. I missed a setup already here that formed on lower time frame, so I'm basically gonna target all of this liquidity all the way up here. This buy side liquidity is gonna be my main point of interest. Okay, other than that, I'm not looking at any other higher time frame levels. As price will keep reaching here, once price is here, then I'll drop down to like lower time frame and mark liquidity levels right here. Okay, we don't basically need price to come all the way up here to make us profitable. Even if price is revisiting this fair value gap here or this fair value gap, right, it will be a profitable trade. We can easily make 2R if price is revisiting this little fair value gap, this CB here. So on 3-minute chart, it looks way more dope if I put it that way. There's a fair value gap. On 5-minute chart, if I drop down, yeah, on 15 minutes, sorry, this fair value gap is supporting price right now. And here in this price fractal, a very beautiful breaker block formed like at 11:30. So it wasn't inside of our macro when this breaker block got activated, but this setup was there, and it's a very nice setup. Why is it a very nice setup? Because this blue shaded box that you see is our 50-minute fair value gap, right? This fair value gap, and your high probability breaker block setup is gonna be forming inside of a higher time frame PD area, and it's a higher time frame PD area, right? I'm on 50-minute chart, and that's a CB, sorry, that's a BC, buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, aligned with order blocks right here. Okay, you may call it breaker block, but I prefer to call it like reclaimed order block because it's not that clean as it's here on lower time frame, right? You wanna see like this kind of breaker block setup, very clean, and the cleanest it goes, the better, the higher volatility there will be. Okay, the delivery after price activates the breaker block, it will be aggressive if the breaker block is clean like this. But anyway, when it's clean, it's easy to spot, right? On lower time frame, when it's not clean and when it's like this, and if you are new, you will just miss it. You won't just see this breaker block right here, but it's a breaker block. Why? Lower low, new lower low, price went all the way up this candle, market structure shift, right? With fair value gap. So market structure shift with fair value gap is very strong. As you can see, price did a market structure shift here. The main market structure shift on higher time frame was here on 5-minute chart with this fair value gap. So whenever you see a market structure shift with breaker block and your narrative is like price should deliver towards the buy side liquidity, you should expect a high level of probability that price will react or get support from this fair value gap. And it did here, right? This is the 50-minute fair value gap aligned with breaker block, or you can say reclaimed order block or just order block. Price came all the way down, got support from it again, and this is a very nice breaker block, lower low. All of this is time distortion. Price was waiting for a certain time to deliver, and it did deliver. I didn't saw it when it was happening, so I missed it. Otherwise I would have been like in this trade. It's a very clean setup. I would have taken it, because when price was providing sell side liquidity down here, look how price only generated sell side liquidity and provided buy side liquidity. Here at this candle is higher than this candle, right? And this candle reached all the way above this candle's body. So price was basically only providing buy side liquidity, and it was continuously engineering sell side liquidity. As you can see here, clean levels. Then price dropped down, left buy side liquidity intact. Relative equal high means what? Strong liquidity level. It works as a magnet for price. And as you can see, price came all the way down, offered sell side liquidity here. That's a major low, right? Then immediately got rejected from this 50-minute fair value gap. So if I was like watching this setup, I would have taken it even on demo, right? This is a very clean setup, but I missed it. We still have chance to enter in this trade. Okay, so before I explain, do you see where we can enter? Do you see any fair value gap with order block? Okay, it doesn't matter if price is like giving us a chance to enter or not, but if it's reaching all the way down here, right, in this fair value gap or in this fair value gap, we can execute, as long as price is not going below this up close candle, these two up close candle that you see. The mean threshold of this up close candle can be revisited. That is allowed, and that's gonna be the last line of defense if price is dropping before an expansion towards the buy side. So my PM session, bias is I'm bullish. I want to see these relative equal high are getting taken out. I'm not gonna be bearish as long as these equal highs are intact and price is near to it. I'm not bearish at all because of the relative equal highs, and price is near to it. Okay, price will reach there, and that's why I'm streaming. I want to tape read if price reaches all the way up here, and if it does, like I want to see if I can able to make like spot a clean setup, or am I able to like execute in any setup, right? So we'll do that. BC 15-minute. So I'm gonna be mainly focusing on Dow here. I'm also looking at Nasdaq, and there's also a breaker block, but in Nasdaq, my bias on Nasdaq is bullish too. Like there's relative equal high resting at like 15,260, and I want to see it getting taken out. Okay, let me show you guys. I don't think like price will give us a chance to enter anywhere here, and I'm not gonna be taking like any new execution here, because that's gonna be a lot of risk. Price can easily just come all the way down because it generated relative equal lows down here, right? So in my eyes, a better entry with a low risk, like a narrow stop loss will be here below this low. If I'm executing anywhere near here, it's gonna be a lot of risk because of the relative equal lows that are resting here. Suppose I like executed here at this candle or at this candle, I would have pyramided here without worrying about the setup, because I would have taken a partial above the swing high, so my trade would trade would be like running risk free. But now any execution that I'm gonna be making, new execution, is gonna be a lot of like it's gonna be with a lot of risk. So I'm just gonna wait, and now we'll look at NASDAQ. So there's a macro running right now, 11:50 to 12:10. Okay, it's from my experience, I saw it like a market reversal macro. Most of the time I use this macro as a market reversal because it's now it's the lunchtime, right? So at lunchtime we see some kind of retracement. If price is bullish, then that retracement leads us to discount. Okay, and in between 11:50 to 12:10, that retracement happens. But today we didn't saw this kind of retracement, right? On Dow, yeah, price is just aggressively delivering towards the buy side. So let's wait. Let's see like how price delivers. On Dow, my level of interest will be this relative equal high right here, and I really want to see like if price is retracing lower. Okay, if price retracing in these order blocks, which are aligned with this fair value gap, right? It's not a fair value gap yet. When this candle closes, I believe we will have a fair value gap here. So if price is reaching all the way down here inside this fair value gap, which is coming with these two down close candle, so order block with fair value gap, that's a strong signature in price. Okay, price leaves signature like this, what you can take based on what you can execute. So let's see what price does. But anyway, that's a very beautiful delivery. So if you are studying on Dow, I will highly suggest you to tape read this whole setup. Okay, do your own analysis on your own chart based on this breaker block model, because that's a very clean delivery from this breaker block. And why I'm saying clean, because price came down to a higher time frame discount PT area, this PC, and then got rejected from it beautifully. Not only it got rejected, it also generated a breaker block. That's why I'm saying it clean. So do something about it, like analyze on your own chart this model, and then screenshot it, save it, journal it. And if I drop down to like 1 minute chart, you will see like there's many other breaker block that you could have like executed on. This lower low, right? New lower low. So these up close candles are basically breaker block. As soon as price hit this fair value gap, this higher time frame 50-minute fair value gap, look how like price immediately didn't generated a breaker block. It hit it, then it moved towards the premium level, then it got rejected, cleared out sell side liquidity from here. Okay, after the second tap, price like rejected beautifully from this 50-minute PC. So to me that is very interesting. This whole delivery is very interesting to tape read. Breaker block, price closing candles body above here, price retraced all the way down here. You execute here at this candle, your stop loss is gonna be like below here or below this candle's low, and that's a very clean delivery. So now let's wait. I think price generated a fair value gap here. Yeah, it's looking really good. This is a fair value gap right here, and price is rejecting from it. So any rejection inside this fair value gap will give me a chance to enter. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm just gonna wait until price reaches anywhere near this order blocks. And if price does that, we are not basically inside of our macro. So this execution that I'm gonna be taking right now is gonna be outside of our macro. But it's a very, very good setup with fair value gap with order block. That's a unicorn. So let's wait on Dow. So why I'm feeling confident executing in this setup, the main reason is price reached all the way up here in the premium PD area, this fair value gap. And above this fair value gap, we have relative equal high. And clean levels like this, right? Like price likes to clear it out whenever price is generating clean levels like this, it tends to be jagged by price. So it's a very clean level in my eyes, and I want to see price revisiting these levels. So on 1 minute chart you can see fair value gap here. So I'm watching this fair value gap. It doesn't matter how many lows are there, a lot of relative equal lows, right? Relative equal lows. What matters to me, like how price is reacting inside this fair value gap on 1 minute chart. If price is aggressively moving towards the sell side liquidity, I will not take this setup. I want to see like a slow delivery inside this setup and price hitting this order block, then getting rejected towards the buy side liquidity. As soon as I see like rejection anywhere near here, I will execute. But if the delivery is aggressive, keep in mind that we have relative equal lows down here. So price can just easily reach all the way down here, hit my stop loss. So I will not take it if it's like aggressive delivery towards the sell side. But if it's a slow delivery like this, I'll execute on it. And Nasdaq is also looking really good. I think I didn't talk about Nasdaq. This level, this is the level I'm talking about on Nasdaq, 15,260. That's a very clean level on higher time frame. Our buy side liquidity is resting above here, above this relative equal high. So easy low hanging fruit is this level, 15,238. Right, that's a very beautiful delivery from this fair value gap. Look at this fair value gap. And they both are moving together. So it's a high probability scenario. So I'm still gonna keep waiting until price hits this fair value gap. Drawn liquidity is up here. Okay, we know it. We are just waiting for an entry right now. Is my volume good? This 100 wick set up from 15-minute fair value gap, but also 4 hour. Yes, Maria, lunchtime run to final buy side liquidity, and I'm bullish. There's another reason for me being bullish is because of this high. This high is very significant and it's a logical high for price to reach. Like aside from the equal highs that I see, I have another reason to see price reaching all the way up here. And for that, I'll have to drop down to the regular trading hours. Okay. Yesterday, this was our PM session high. Okay. Buy side liquidity. If you guys watched like the live stream from my mentor, you'll know what I'm talking about. The recent live streams. So there he mentioned like if price clearing out yesterday's, like the day before, PM session buy side liquidity or sell side liquidity. Suppose price cleared out yesterday's PM session sell side liquidity, and the PM session buy side liquidity is intact, then you can easily just target that liquidity level. So that's what I'm doing here. I did the same thing in my last live stream. So if you were confused, you can just watch that live stream again. I call the market based on those liquidity levels. And as you can see, it was this swing high is from yesterday's PM session. You can see that this swing high got generated at 14.15, and price didn't clear it. Rather, it left a lot of relative equal highs here. Okay, and this gap that you see, it's our I think today's 9:30 gap, 9:30 opening gap. So I want to see price going above this 9:30 gap, and if it's like dropping from this 9:30 gap, then it's gonna be reaching for the discount, so we can execute on it. Any retracement lower is gonna be like just going for the discount levels before pushing higher. That's what I see here. Do you guys see that how price reached all the way up in the opening gap from the regular trading hours, and now it's retracing lower? This retracement is good. Okay, why it's a good retracement? Because look at that, look how price is like leaving these relative equal highs, these clean levels. So as long as like price not clearing out these relative equal highs and then dropping, I'll execute with confidence. I can execute in this trade if price is dropping all the way down here, as long as these equal highs are intact. That's a strong sign from price that it wanna come back to this level again. So the draw on liquidity on NQ is up here above this candle's high and then this candle's high. So after price takes out liquidity from any of these level, like I'm expecting to see a retracement lower, because this delivery was like a very aggressive delivery, and whenever I saw aggressive delivery like this after price reached to a higher time frame PDRA, it like retraced to the discount. And whenever it does that, like retracing back to the discount at PM session macros, inside of our PM session macro, it provides like at least one high probability setup. So I hope like I'll be able to take at least one PM session setup today. Mehdad FX is asking like, hi Hydra, do you think that BPRs are really strong zones, often well respected? Yes, I do think that BPR is one of the strongest PDRA from ICT concept, but it's not like always price is gonna be respecting a BPR. It's not a 100% guarantee. But if you are like watching a BPR when prices two fair value gap aligned with right next to each other, then that's a BPR, right? So you should expect some kind of retracement from it if your narrative is with it. Okay, suppose if you are expecting a bullish delivery, then whenever you see a BPR, you want to see that price respecting your analysis from this BPR. If price is like not respecting your analysis from this BPR, if that BPR is getting filled, then you should know that your whole analysis is wrong. So it's not like it's always price is gonna be respecting BPRs, but yeah, it does with a great deal of probability. Like me personally, I would say like 60 to 70% of the time, whenever I marked a BPR, price respected it. And then fair value gap with order block, that's another strong PDRA from ICT concept. Whenever I see some kind of PDRA like this, and I have a like that's a bullish fair value gap, right, which is coming with a bullish order blocks right here. So my bias is now bullish. If price is dropping down to this fair value gap, I will not hesitate to buy from this fair value gap, because I know it's a signature from price that it will deliver from this level here strongly. Thank you, Merdad. Bro, look at BTC. Yeah, I was looking at BTC, but I don't see anything interesting right now. Do you guys see anything interesting on Ethereum? Yeah, what the interesting level was at this level for me yesterday. These really typical lows that was resting right here. I was in that trade from this level. I basically traded the whole drop here. Small little drop, okay? I was part of a small little drop, and I recorded the executions. You can watch it in my Twitter, it's there. And nothing is interesting for me on Bitcoin or Ethereum right now. Okay, if price is reaching inside this fair value gap, then I would like to taper it, but right now I don't see anything. Yeah, it just choppy to me. I will not trade crypto right now. Just look at this. The price action is awful. It's just consolidating in a range. So whenever Bitcoin or crypto or Ethereum is in a range, I don't like to trade it. Look at this. What range is it inside right now? Okay, that's our dealing range is from this high to this low, and price is inside of it. And it's continuously generating relative equal lows, trend line liquidity, and not respecting or clearing it out. Okay, I like to see price respecting those levels, clearing it out, relative equal highs and lows. And right now here price is continuously generating it and not clearing it out. Okay, it's waiting for time. All of this is just a time distortion. So I'm not gonna be trading right now or PM session, but I will look at it like after 12 o'clock today. So basically like tomorrow I'll be looking at crypto. So there's like a little tip for you all. If you are like interested in crypto macro, then also look at like 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. in between that time period. Suppose Bitcoin is in a consolidation and you are expecting to see a breakout, you can expect to see that breakout happening inside that time period, 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. Okay, that's a little nugget for you all. I'm not gonna be like specifically saying what time frame, well, like what time, but that's a hint. Okay, look at your own chart, you will see it. It's not like no one is keeping that away from you. So if you like look carefully, you will find that macro is from 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. in between that macro, in between a macro runs that time. And basically that macro is like a market reversal macro. So suppose price is delivering like buy side liquidity continuously, so in between 11 to 12 you expect to see a reversal that will hunt sell side liquidity. So it goes like this. It's not a guarantee like 100% of the time it will do that, but it does that with a high degree of probability. So do check that out if you are trading on crypto. And there's another macro that I shared with you on crypto for free, like 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. in between that time price will do something. Okay, if it's not consolidating in crypto, it will surely 100% guarantee you will find a move if crypto is not consolidating. So I have no interest to taper crypto right now. I'll just focus on DAO. And it's looking pretty good. Price generated relative equal highs again here. So as I told you guys, like any retracement lower is gonna be like price reaching for the discount PDRAs before pushing higher. And price rejected inside of this fair value gap. Now I'm gonna wait and see if price is dropping all the way down here. I'm gonna be a little safe in this execution because it's a late execution, okay? Like I'm gonna be executing from these order blocks. So I wanna see if price is gonna be respecting my analysis from this order block. So I'm not just gonna be executing from this fair value gap. I'll wait for price to reach down here in this order block, and after that I can execute. Yeah, I wasn't taking trades today, and I want to take trade right now in this setup because this is a very clean like liquidity levels for me. These relative equal high that you see resting on Dow. So I want to see price clearing these levels out today. So any kind of retracement lower inside this order block will lead me to an execution. So yeah, I'm trading. I traded yesterday. I'm gonna be trading today. Look at GBP USD. I don't trade forex. That's a very nice retracement lower. Price left relative equal highs here again. So the setup is gonna be something like this. So if you are not willing to take the risk, and if your analysis is not matching with me, just don't take this trade. But I'm gonna be taking it. My stop loss is gonna be like this, and target can be like this. Create a limit, and it is gonna be 10. Limit order here. Okay, good. So this is gonna be basically like a 2.32 hour trade. So let's see what price does. I'm willing to take this risk. If I lose this trade, it will not impact me anything. Okay, just a simple loss. But yeah, so me saying, because like I know some of you take my trades as a signal and then you like put a lot of risk. So don't do that. Follow risk management if you're taking this setup with me. If I'm losing this setup, I'll be losing like 0.5% of my account, which is nothing. And if I'm gonna be winning in this trade, that will give me like 2 hours. So I'll have to like continuously lose 4 trades to go back to my balance, original balance, like before I push the button in this trade. Okay, so your risk management will have to be something like this, that like if you are taking 1 or 2 loss, it doesn't impact you. Someone is just spamming the chat with a lot of concepts. Like he's looking on every time frame and using every concept. I bet he's not profitable, okay? You don't need to use every ICT concept to become profitable. Like look at me. I'm just using an order block. I'm tape reading with an order block, basically a fair value gap. And basic knowledge of liquidity, like I see relative equal high, so I'm gonna target it. I just need price to reach to a discount level Where is the discount level? These order blocks right here. So you don't need to know every other ICT concept to become profitable. Whatever works for you, okay? Just keep it simple, keep it in between like 1 or 2 models. Someone is asking, bro, are you in Montreal? Yes, I am. Ruben is asking, so if you see a clear setup like this, but we are out of a kill zone, do you still take the trade? How do you treat these types of trades out of kill zone? Just like I'm showing you here, the main reason behind me gonna be pushing button right now, because I didn't traded the AM session today. Okay, so suppose like if I was in front of the chart in AM session, I would have like not been looking at chart right now. So I missed the AM session today, and when I opened the chart right now, I saw a very beautiful liquidity levels like this relative equal high that you see right here. Okay, so basically I'm gonna be taking 2 trades. If this trade is gonna be like coming out of a loss, I'm gonna be taking another trade at 120 to 140 macro. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna do it. So suppose this setup is like turning out to be a loss, I'm gonna be taking another setup where market is like can reverse with high probability, and that time period is 120 to 140. So I'm gonna be waiting for a market reversal in 2 time periods, right now and at 120 to 140. If it's not happening right now, like suppose price is consolidating like this and just not reaching all the way down here, then I'm just gonna be waiting for the 120 to 140 period. That's a macro. And look how beautifully price is leaving relative equal highs. What does it mean? It's a strong sign from price that it wanna come back to these levels again. You guys are asking a lot of questions like, where am I taking this trade? Like, you guys wanna use me as a signal? You wanna do that? I'm gonna be taking this trade on my live account. As I told you guys, I'm open to take 2 trades today, and if both of them are turning out to be a loss, it doesn't affect me. Okay, so I'm willing to take that risk. What's your platform, bro? What platform? Like where I execute? I basically use forex.com to take trades on indices, and for crypto, as I'm living on Canada, I use Qcoin. Other than that, like, they're not that good. So as you can see, price reached all the way up here, right, clearing out this relative equal high. So I'm not gonna be taking this setup. I'm gonna be waiting for 120 to 140 macro, because like if price is leaving this relative equal high, then I'm gonna be taking it. If it's not doing that, I'm gonna be waiting for my 120 to 140 macro to get activated. Okay, so what's the logic? Why are you not gonna be taking this trade if price is clearing out the relative equal highs here again right now? Okay, because I will have nothing to left to target. I need strong target. I know the drawn liquidity is up here, and price is eventually is gonna be going all the way up here, but I don't need price to to hold my trade for that long to make me profitable. Okay, I'm basically a 2-hour trader. 2-hour, 2.5-hour, 3-hour. Max I go is like 5-hour, 4-hour. So with 2-hour, I'm gonna be making good money. So I'm happy with that. And I wanna make money in this price action here in this fractal. So as long as price is leaving these relative equal highs and this high, I'm open to this trade. And if price is clearing out these relative equal high and then dropping, I'm not gonna be taking this trade. Why? Because when price generates relative equal high like this, what rests above these liquidity levels is like the strong buy side liquidity. So when price offers strong level of buy side liquidity, it then whenever it goes back to the discount, it dives deeper. What do I mean by it dives deeper? It will go and seek discount liquidity from lower prices, like here, a lot of relative equal lows here. So what my logic and my experience says is that like if price is clearing out all of these equal highs before dropping here, then it will reach all the way down here. But if it's not doing that, if it's generating relative equal high like this and leaving it and then dropping in this order block, I will not hesitate to push button. So there you go. That's the whole analysis. Now funded next, they run with their own broker. They're running with their own broker. They have an option, like you can choose from which platforms you want to trade. They have like two options, like the 8cap server and then their own server, funded next server. So in the funded next server, you don't basically will have to like pay any fee, but from the 8cap server, you will have to pay a fee. So yeah, I think that's the only difference. So now the price cleared this relative equal high from here, is revisited this fair value gap. So there's another setup that I see. Okay, so I'm just gonna be mentioning it real quick. From this fair value gap right here, like this. There's also a setup that it could have taken, like relative equal high here, price generated relative equal high, then cleared it out. Your stop loss could have been like above this volume imbalance right here, and then easy target this order block. That would have been like a 3-hour trade, but anyway, I saw it late, so I thought of mentioning it. So now let's wait and see how price reacts from this order block. We have a low here, so if price is going below this low, it's offering sell side liquidity. And why am I mentioning that? You already know if price is going below an old low, it's gonna be offering sell side liquidity. What's so significant about this low? This low is above these order blocks. Okay, so price is gonna be offering two major liquidity levels right here below this swing and in these order blocks. So now let's wait. Let's wait before I push the button. Look at this. This delivery is aggressive, right? That's what I'm talking about. Like, if the delivery is aggressive, I'm not gonna be pushing the button. I wanted to see a slow delivery. So now let's see if price rejects from the mean threshold of these order blocks. So price reached all the way down to the mean threshold. Now I'm gonna wait for the second candle to open and show me sign that it wanna deliver towards the buy side liquidity. And as you can see, the delivery is aggressive. That's how you avoid a losing trade. Okay, you just don't put a limit order here. You want to see how price is delivering from the level of your interest. Okay, is it showing any sign of willingness to reverse? No. So why would I push the button here? When price was here, I told you guys that if this delivery is happening like slow, then I will take this setup. If this delivery is happening aggressively, I will not take this setup. do you see the logic behind it? Do you see me how I'm avoiding a loss? I'm avoiding a losing trade. So this price is reaching again to this breaker block. So price basically provided liquidity below this low and below this low, and it's reached all the way down inside this fair value gap. So now I'm gonna wait and see if price rejects. So price basically provided sell side liquidity efficiently. So now let's wait. This order block is gonna be working as a reclaimed order block. Suppose I didn't got a chance to execute anywhere from here, I still have chance to do that from these order blocks, which is gonna be working as a reclaimed order block once price goes above and closes the candle body above it. Any tap inside of this breaker block, I'll take it as an execution. And let's see, suppose if price is generating a breaker block inside here, there will also be a high probability setup. So I want to see like two scenarios: price dropping here, generating a fair value gap somewhere here, and then this fair value gap is getting failed. Okay, so I can use this fair value gap that is gonna be like generating here to take an entry as an inversion. Okay, and if price is not generating a fair value gap, then I want to see a breaker block forming inside this level, so a small bit breaker block, or anything else like order block, right? I can use that as a reclaimed order block. So I want to see a fair value gap forming inside this level. So I think price chose to deliver from this fair value gap. Okay, so price didn't reach all the way down here. It don't need to. There's a fair value gap that you can see, and it failed, right? It was a CB, and it failed to send price towards sell side liquidity. So now let's wait and see like if price provides any kind of opportunity for me to execute from this inversion. That's the inversion right now. Why is it an inversion? Because it's a failed fair value gap. So any tap, any retracement inside here at the next candle will grant me another entry, but the delivery, the drop inside this fair value gap should be slow, not like this. If this delivery is happening aggressively like this, I will not take it. I will wait for price to reach down here. Okay, and then I will execute. This is not an inversion anymore, so I prefer to wait. Volume imbalance right here. Let's see if price gets supports from this volume imbalance. The price didn't reach down to this volume imbalance. I think it don't want to give me any entry. I know the delivery will be towards the buy side liquidity, but let's see, let's wait. Okay, I'm in from this order block, then this inversion. Now let's see, my stop loss is gonna be down here. Okay, so something like this below this inversion, and then this order block, and my TP will be basically like 2R from here. And as you can see, prices, I'm just gonna be moving my stop loss a little bit because price can easily reach to this volume imbalance. So let me take this execution on my live funds. This is gonna be our last line of defense. Okay, oh my god, before I push the button, it just hit my stop loss. Really? Wow, this delivery was really aggressive towards the sell side liquidity, and I was trying to avoid that. I guess I failed to avoid this, and a better execution could have been from this volume imbalance, right? I'm still interested in this trade. Like, I couldn't push the button on my live funds, so let's wait and see if price is like rejecting from this breaker block. Do you guys see it? This is a breaker block right here, this bullish up close candle, and there's a fair value gap here inside of this breaker block. So yeah, price tapped inside this fair value gap. So this is gonna be my last execution, and I'm in on my live funds with a stop loss below here. If price is going below this level, guys, it's gonna be bearish, okay? And price is gonna hunt liquidity down here. So I'm in this trade. I'm taking this trade on my live funds. Now let's see what happens. In this trade, I couldn't execute. It was so fast, and it just hit my stop loss even on my demo. So I didn't got a chance to execute in this one, and it's good, I think. But right now, price gave me a chance to enter from this fair value gap. This small little fair value gap that you see BC inside this breaker block. Now let's see how price behaves here. I think my stop loss is good. Yeah. So now let's wait, and the 2R target from here can be right here, right? It's an easy 2R. So this trade is gonna be without any partial. And this is like a low hanging fruit, this level right here, because I know that drawn liquidity is all the way up here. So even if price is like providing liquidity right here, it will make me profitable. So I'm gonna wait and see how price behaves. Why is everything looking so messy here? Wow, look at this. Really? I think I'm in the wrong side of the marketplace, right? So this was my last trade for today. I think I'm not gonna be executing in any trade right now, and this came out to be a loss. And it's good. Market proved me wrong, and it just heavily Like, look at this delivery. Wow. From this fair value gap. So when you are like in the wrong side of the marketplace, this is what happens, guys. Anyway, I think a better execution could have been like inside our macro, right? 120 to 140. But anyway, that's the limit. That was the limit for me today, to take like two trades. One I couldn't execute, and one that I executed turned out to be a loss. Anyway, so I'm just going to be tape reading the whole session and outlining setups, and let's see if we can find any setup right here. Right, basically I'm going to be tape reading right now. I'm done for today. And where price can go, as it's like delivering sell side liquidity, and we know there's a BC, and I think it's gonna fail. This BC will fail to hold price, this 50-minute BC, and there this low is here. So this low is an easy draw on liquidity, and you can see it. Now I'm gonna be going to the higher time frame, and now let's see where price can draw. This is a fair value gap. Price already revisited it. So this low is inside this fair value gap. I think price can easily reject from this 50-minute fair value gap after it clears out this low here. Right? Wow, this delivery was like really aggressive, and it happened from the new the opening range gap from the regular trading hours, and that's something very interesting to see. Look at this delivery. Price just heavily rejected from this new week opening gap, sorry, this opening range gap. Right, so like a better trade idea could have been from this liquidity void, because there's no trading here. Price reached all the way up here, then it dropped, sharp drop towards sell side liquidity. And if your model is to execute from the opening range gap, this trade would have been like a very profitable for you, right? That's a very nice setup from this opening range gap. Trading hours. Is there any news right now? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There's no news, right? So yeah, this drop was really aggressive. Look at this drop. Even on NQ, even on Nasdaq, look at this drop. But on NQ, there's a breaker block that I see on 15 minutes, right? Yeah, this was a breaker block. Did anyone saw it? Anyone got any trade from this breaker block? Let's wait for our macro to start. That will be like from 120 to 140, in between that time zone. Yeah, Maria, that was a very beautiful trade, but I didn't saw it. Okay, I didn't saw this drop coming. I only saw like price reaching to a discount level and then moving towards premium again. And I wanted to see this new week range gap getting filled, but it didn't happen. Price went lower, closed the candle body below the new week opening gap, and sorry, why am I saying new week opening gap? The opening range gap, and then it retraced back to it, and then it dropped sharply. That was a beautiful sharp, but I didn't saw it, and I'm not sad because I didn't saw it. I can easily take like one loss. It's not gonna be impacting me anyhow, so why just worry about the losing trade? I'm not worrying about this trade, and it doesn't impact me. That's how I talk with myself once I get a loss, okay? Because it does affect sometime, and when we were trading in front of when you were trading live in front of hundreds of people, it does affect. So yeah, I keep remind myself it doesn't impact, okay? So let's see if a breaker block forms. I'm only gonna be executing inside of a breaker block, and the execution is gonna be on demo, the 120 to 140, the macro that's gonna be like running. If price is coming all the way down here and going below this low here, we'll have a breaker block here. This up close candle can work as a breaker block for us. So I'll wait. Even if I'm taking like 4 losses back to back, okay, one win can mitigate all of the 4 losses. That's the magic of risk management. Justin, you didn't miss anything. That trade came out to be a loss. So yeah, you didn't miss anything, but I'm still trading. So let's see if we can like find any setup. If I'm like looking at a clean breaker block setup right here, I'll take it in between 120 to 130, in between that time zone. Okay. And I'm still bullish. I came here with a mindset of bullish bias for PM session. And look at the price action. These drops are like crazy. Like the way price is moving so aggressively. Yeah, I'm sad that I didn't saw this trade coming from this new week opening gap. Sorry, why am I saying new week opening gap again and again? From the opening range gap. Yeah, I wish I could see it. Like that was a very nice trade. Like look at this, guys. That's the opening range gap. Price came all the way up here. The midway, if you measure the midway is here. To the tick, price precisely hit the midway. Then it dropped. Use this the new day opening gap. Why am I saying new day opening gap? The New York, what's its name? Opening range gap, okay? So it came all the way up, retested this gap here. That's a beautiful setup, but I didn't saw it. But it's a good journal, okay? It's good for journal. So I want to see price revisiting this new week opening. Sorry, I think I'm saying new week because of the NY here. This opening range gap. Yeah, now it's good. I think price can revisit this opening range gap again. Relative equal highs are resting here, then up above here, right? So I'm gonna be waiting, and let's see if price forms a breaker block here. Price is getting rejected from the rejection block here. This week that you see, that's a rejection block, and I don't want to see that. I want to see price dropping. So something like this will interest me. Something like this. Like as you can see, these up close candles are gonna be working here as a breaker block if price is going above here, above it. Okay, so yeah, let's wait and see if price drops here. We have a fair value gap right here, small little fair value gap, and that's the nearest drawn liquidity equal lows. I don't think you need premium to move to the regular trading hours, right? Why am I so bullish? Because of the relative equal highs here. That's the main reason behind me being so bullish. So it's 13:06. We still have 15 minutes before our macro starts. For 13:20, right here. The macro is going to be lasting for 13:40. So inside this time period, I want to see a breaker block forming, or like suppose price formed a breaker block earlier, then I want to see like price activating the breaker block inside this time period. Inside this 120 to 130 period, I want to see a breaker block getting formed or getting activated. So now let's see how price chooses to deliver. Did you guys watch the dollar today? Dollar showed a very nice rejection towards buy side liquidity from this breaker block, okay, that I showed you guys on my Twitter feed. I marked it as a unicorn. Do you guys remember the template that I'm talking about? So this is the template. I shared it on Twitter. Okay, as you can see, I outlined it as a breaker block, X unicorn. What do I mean by that? Whenever a breaker block is coming with a fair value gap, right, it becomes a unicorn setup. And this signature in price action, whenever you see something like this and you have like higher level targets that indicates like price will reach here, and you saw this setup, you should be like you can execute with high confidence in that setup. And as you guys showed you here in this example, this chart, this screenshot was from the daily dollar chart from 26th, and as you can see, our breaker block here, lower sell side liquidity resting below this level, then price dropped down to this level, did a stop hunt, generated a new lower low. So this up close candles becomes a order block, sorry, breaker block, right? And this breaker block is coming with a fair value gap. That makes this breaker block a high probability breaker block. That's what a unicorn means. And what can you target? The nearest level of liquidity. What was the nearest level of drawn liquidity? This volume imbalance and then this swing high. Now look at the dollar chart now. Breaker block, fair value gap, unicorn, right? Price came all the way down, hit the mean threshold of this breaker block, then got rejected. Beautiful delivery, okay? Volume imbalance right here, delivered. Our next target is this level right here. So me personally, I'm bullish on dollar until price reaches in these order blocks. So in coming days, I'll be like watching how price behaves inside these order blocks. Until then, I'm bullish on dollar. And as you saw, I called the market live on dollar by using logic. It wasn't a hindsight call. I called it like days ago. And after a couple of days, price showed the willingness to go towards the buy side liquidity. Okay, and I'll be dropping templates like this on Twitter whenever I see like a unicorn setup on like daily chart or 4-hour chart. I'll make a template about it, why it's a unicorn setup, what kind of like rejection you can expect to see from the unicorn setup. And the reason behind me like doing these live calls and making live these templates is that you can see, you can watch in your own chart when price delivers from this kind of setup. Okay, everyone can make an educational post. So when educational post is no longer a hindsight, it becomes a lot more educational, right? Like when I showed you that template, dollar was here. So on Dow, as you can see, price dropped. I want to see this level are getting taken out, these lows. The typical lows down here, strong level of sell side liquidity. So you guys know like what I'm expecting in this scenario. I want to see a breaker block forming here. So this is what I'm expecting to see. If it happens like this, I'll execute on it. If it's not happening like this, I'll just continue tape reading. Austin is saying a very important question, like if I'm expecting bullish price action on dollar, then why am I not expecting bearish price action on indices? Because you saw, I think you saw like dollar and indices are moving opposite to each other, right? Did you saw that? So if you saw that, you will know the reason why I'm expecting to see like dollar moving opposite to each other. Okay, and like why I want to see like dollar and indices moving together. The main logic is I do see liquidity levels right here. I don't need dollar to look at dollar to decide my bias on my indices. Okay, I can trade without looking at dollar. So that's the whole logic. They move together, and I'm expecting to see they are moving together here in this scenario. There are scenarios when I expect to see like they should move opposite to each other, but in this scenario I want to see them moving like together, delivering towards buy side liquidity. I was bullish yesterday. I did an execution and I showed you the recording. There you can see like I executed at 9:30 in that macro, 9:20 to 9:30, and it was a bullish trade. okay, but I call the market this week on dollar being bullish. So what's the logic that I'm executing on indices on bullish trades? Okay, that's the logic, that the liquidity, okay, the liquidity is resting up here, not below. So I'm not bearish. I'm on long term scenario, I'm bearish on indices, but today I'm not. So I'm still gonna wait, and I'm waiting for a stop hunt below these lows right here. And as you can see, price is just consolidating inside this stealing range from this high to this low. Price is just consolidating inside here. I just need price to go like above here. If price is like going above here, then I'm gonna be expecting to see price dropping then and clearing out these relative equal high lows, and then reversing towards buy side liquidity. So yeah, unicorn do not work against the bias. No setup works against like if you have a wrong bias, nothing will work. Okay, so you need to know when you have a wrong bias, you need to know like you should stop. You should learn that, because some people fail to do that. When they have wrong bias, they just keep pushing button hoping to make money, and they don't, just blow up the account. I did that, so I know, and a lot of you do that. Whenever you have a wrong bias, you just don't stop. You just keep pushing button in that macro, then in the other one, or you just keep pushing throughout the whole session. Don't do that. Maria, can that 5-minute bullish breaker block form 10-15? Okay, 5-minute bullish breaker block. I think you were talking about Dow, right? Okay, so 5-minute bullish what? Breaker block form 10:15 a.m. Let's see. I think you were talking about this one, right? This candle. Yeah, this 10:15 candle. So what's your question? On the 5-minute chart, be reactivated if price moves back inside the order block. This one, yeah, right now it's a breaker block, because look at the low here. This is the highest one, so you should be considering this up close candle as breaker block, not these ones. But the low is here, then price generated a new lower low. So as long as price is not going below these lows here again, it's a breaker block. It's still a breaker block, so you can execute based on that. And a better execution will be from this inversion. Okay, this is a fair value gap. Why am I saying it's an inversion? Because I want to see this fair value gap getting filled. If price is reaching all the way up here, okay, and going above it, what does it mean? It failed, and I can use it as an inversion to execute from this inversion. Or you can simply execute from this breaker block. But if price is going below it, your question can be like, can I still execute using this breaker block, or is it still a breaker block? No. If price is going below and clearing out liquidity from here, it's not a breaker block. You can use this candle as a reclaimed order block. But I think you don't need to reach all the way like back here to use this candle. If price is going below here, there will be a lot of setup forming inside here. Like we have this inversion, right? We'll have breaker block forming here. We are expecting to see a breaker block forming here, right? So I hope you got your answer, Maria. In 2 minutes, price is gonna be inside of our macro. So I'm basically not gonna be buying as long as these relative equal highs are like intact. I wanna see price clearing out these relative equal lows. As long as price has these relative equal lows intact, I'm not gonna be buying. I wanna see price coming down, clearing these levels out, offering sell side liquidity here, hitting this 50-minute fair value gap, then reversing. That's what I'm expecting to see. But as you can see, just getting support from this failed fair value gap, which is working here as an inversion. Do you guys see how price respects a inversion? So this is a failed fair value gap, right? If I zoom in a little bit, what do you see? This is a CB, and it was here to provide support for price towards sell side liquidity. Then price went above, closed the candle body above it. This fair value gap is not a CB anymore. It's an inversion. As soon as price opened the candle body above it, it became an inversion. And after that, look at the delivery. Okay, you won't be able to execute here, but it's just for study purpose. Like, look at how price using this inversion when it's consolidating, how it's closing its candle body. Okay, if I zoom in a little bit more, look how price is stopping to the tick inside this inversion. Look at the candle body, they're staying above. Okay, so suppose there's no relative equal lows like this, I would have push button here, because look at the body, there's a volume imbalance right here, small little volume imbalance, price tapped here. Then it should, I would have like expected this price action like remaining heavy towards buy side liquidity from this inversion. But I'm not gonna be taking this setup because of the relative equal lows that I see right here. That's how things works, folks. Okay, like inversion, suppose you missed a setup, you use turtle soup, so you missed a turtle soup entry, or suppose you missed a fair value gap entry from higher time frame, you wanted to execute on lower time frame and you missed it, you can still do execution from an inversion, from a failed fair value gap, from a failed order block, reclaimed order block. Okay, so a setup is always there. If you don't have the narrative with you, nothing will work. Just like here. Okay, I didn't saw price dropping from here. Did I saw it? No, I saw an order block with fair value gap, and that was like a strong sign for me for price to reverse, and price proved me wrong, right? Then I outlined another setup here, it got failed. So my bias in this drop was wrong. So it doesn't matter whatever setup that I have, it will keep failing. That's why narrative is first, folks. Like, if you have a correct narrative, it doesn't matter where you are executing, what setup you are taking, you are gonna be right. So that's why I like mostly focus on the narrative rather than focusing on the like setup. I'm gonna be focusing on like what liquidity levels, like in which PD areas, how price is reacting. Like suppose there's a fair value gap here, I want to see how price reacts as there's a order block, bearish order blocks right here, right next to this fair value gap, right? And if I zoom in a little bit, this is a fair value gap, and this fair value gap cleared out liquidity from this swing low, right? And then it got generated, price came all the way up, hit this fair value gap, and that's a unicorn fair value gap. Why? It's coming with order block plus a market structure shift right here. You execute there. Okay, it's a hindsight analysis, I didn't saw it. So these things happens very quickly in chart. Okay, in hindsight you can be confident like, okay, I can execute on it. No, your head will have to be clear, very clear, to execute in a setup like this. Like look at the delivery here, it was very aggressive, right? But price did give you a chance to enter. And if you saw me executing in a breaker block, you can see like how fast I make those decisions. Like as soon as I see price closing candles body below, and then a candle opens, retraces back to the breaker block, in couple of seconds I'm executing, and then price is dropping. That's how it is. If you wait, then you will miss this kind of setup, and then you will execute somewhere here with a bigger loss, and then right? You will just lose more money. So I'm still gonna wait 120 to 140 in between this time. If price is clearing these levels out, I'm willing to enter again. But for me to enter again, price will have to clear out these liquidity levels. Otherwise, I'm not entering. Yes, Edward, price is now consolidating, okay, but I'm expecting to see a bullish breaker forming. And if price is going below this low here, anywhere here, then a breaker can be formed here, okay, in these up close candles. So I'm waiting for that, a breaker block to form, and after that I can execute, okay. Alvin, okay, a lot of you are asking questions about why you don't see this session. For that, you will have to go into the C-mini charts, okay. So you wanna open YMU like this, and then this chart, okay, that's coming with like YM E-mini Dow $5 features. You want to add this chart, and then you will see the regular trading hours option and the electronic trading hours option. Okay, otherwise I think if you are like looking at your chart in a regular broker, you won't see it. The regular broker doesn't provide like services like that. And if you are not a premium member on TradingView, there's another little trick for you. So go on to the TradingView chart and type DJI. If you are basically trading on US30, then from this chart you can look at the regular trading hours, okay. You open this chart, regular trading hours is gonna be like without any delayed data, so that's also something to care about. And there you can see the opening range gaps for free. This chart opens at like that's a regular trading hours chart, DJI, Dow Jones Industrial, and you don't need to like toggle on a regular trading hours or electronic trading hours in this chart. So I only know it for Dow. I don't know like what other charts they provide for free to watch the regular trading hours on ES and NQ. I don't know that, but for Dow it's DJI. If you just simply open that chart, you will be able to see the regular trading hours for free. So price provided a beautiful support from this inversion that I showed you guys here, right? This is the inversion. And price broke out from this volume imbalance. Once it hit this volume imbalance right here, this volume imbalance, and when it was here, I told you guys like if there was no relative equal lows like this, I would have been executing in right here at this level. When price was here, I mentioned it, and as you can see, price delivered beautifully towards buy side liquidity like this. So there are times like when I miss a setup, when price does something like this, like generates relative equal lows and it doesn't take it out, then I just wait, okay. And there comes some times when price is relative equal lows, but still I execute. But for that, I need a strong PDRA. A volume imbalance is not a strong PDRA to me alone, okay. I need other confirmations, and I don't see it here. Okay, there's a breaker that I see on ES. Maria mentioned about it, so let's talk about it. Let's look at it. 5-minute chart. Yeah, there are a couple of breaker blocks here. Yeah, that's a breaker block. Okay, all of these down close candles that you see, I think that's a good opportunity to execute here, right? Look at the relative equal lows, and then there's a breaker, then there's a fair value gap. Really? Okay, I'm willing to tape read. I don't usually execute on ES. This fair value gap interests me a lot, and I think ES is a lot clearer than Dow Jones, right? So let's see how price behaves. And it's inside, this setup is inside of our macro. I think I'm gonna be taking this setup. So yeah, let's see how price behaves from it. Okay, that's a very good setup in my eye, and I'm just gonna be tape reading. Okay, I'm not pushing the button on my live funds because I basically don't trade on ES, so I'm not familiar with the price action that goes on ES. I basically just avoid ES, looking at ES. So what's the logic behind me pushing button here? Okay, this candle, breaker block, higher high, new higher highs, relative equal lows are resting below here. So now let's see if price wanna respect my analysis and hunt these relative equal lows. On Dow is same. Okay, Dow generated relative equal lows down here, so there's basically no SMT for price to push higher, and I think it's a good level for price to drop from here on ES. So let's see, it's a demo execution. I'm testing my ideas out, and in 2 hour a easy target will be down here. I think I'm gonna let this trade run below here and then like take a partial when price is somewhere here. Okay, I'm gonna talk about like on lower time frame what did I show that made me to execute here. Just let me like fix some things. Create order and then 2 contracts. There's gonna be a buy limit here, and as you can see, this drop is really beautifully happening. That's a very nice drop. What language are you guys talking in? Like a lot of people I see are talking in, typing in a language that I don't understand. William, I don't speak in that language. What are you saying? Is it Russian? So let me mark up my charts for this trade that I took here. So our stop on is here, right? And our higher high is here. New higher high. Okay, so this is, so okay, there's another question that I see, but no one asked me, why are you not considering these down close candles as a breaker block? Right? For that, I think you will have to listen to ICT videos a little bit more carefully, because our mentor mentions that like the lowest down close candle is gonna be working as a breaker, a high probability breaker, and the lowest down close candles are here, not this one. So because of that, I'm marking these down close candles as a breaker block. I think that's a sniper execution right here, right? the like one single candle I executed, and then price is just dropping from this candle. So that's a fair value gap right here. I want to see this fair value gap getting filled. You are Indian, right? I'm not Indian. I'm an immigrant, okay, and my nationality is not Indian. I'm an immigrant in Montreal. I've been living in Canada for like more than 8.5 years. So I came to like Winnipeg first, and then I moved to Montreal, and I'm still staying in Montreal, and I'm planning to stay in Montreal forever. So price closed the candle body below this inversion. Okay, so now let's see if price wanna get rejected from this inversion here. I would like to pyramid in my entry in this candle right here. Okay, I think this would be a good chance for me to pyramid in my entry from this inversion, but I'm still gonna be waiting. Okay, I want to see price tapping. Okay, it did tapped here. Let's wait for another execution. Anyway, I'm not gonna push the button here. Anyway, this is a fair value gap, and I want to see this fair value gap send price lower. Okay, I don't want to see this fair value gap getting broken. So I'm just gonna trail my stop loss like this. I'm not expecting to see a revisit here, and I think I can pyramid on my entry from this fair value gap. Everything's looking good. Now I'm just gonna set my partial levels like this, and here is gonna be 3 contract, modify order for a partial. Okay, so now let's wait and see how price chooses to deliver here from this level. Clean levels like this, folks. Price like to take out these levels like quickly. So let's see if this delivery becomes aggressive. Okay, it wasn't a breaker block execution, as you can see. It was execution from fair value gap. Sorry, on ES it was execution from this fair value gap on 5-minute chart, which was inside this breaker block. Okay, so I was watching this fair value gap when I executed, and price showed a very good rejection from this fair value gap. Okay, it can come all the way up and revisit this breaker block, but there's no like chance. I don't want to see price revisiting this fair value gap though. Again, I want to see price remaining lower from it, and if price is revisiting, then it can revisit this breaker block, but I'm not expecting a deeper retracement into the premium inside this fair value gap. I'm not expecting that. And this breaker block, the interesting thing is that like this breaker block got activated inside of our macro. Okay, when we expect to see this breaker block getting activated. Okay, we know that inside of our macro a breaker block will form. We expect to see a breaker block forming, and it did formed inside of our macro. Right, this breaker block got activated, not actually formed, but got activated inside of our macro. Price generated higher high, new higher high, so this down close candles becomes a breaker block. Very easy to understand, very easy to spot when it's coming like this. And it generated a fair value gap. Price didn't revisit this fair value gap, so this was an unfilled fair value gap. Okay, so it's a powerful fair value gap. Okay, I made a template about the fair value gaps, and I think if you didn't saw it, I'll show it to you now. Every template that I'm talking about, you can easily find it on my Twitter. So this is a template that I made about strong fair value gaps. Okay, and I made it through power ranking. What do I mean by power ranking? Like, I gave a category of power in fair value gap, like which fair value gap is powerful, more powerful than the other one. And in that chart, you can see, like, I put the BPR first, then the inversion, then the unfilled fair value gap. And that's a BPR is one of the strongest fair value gap. Okay, then comes the inversion, is one of the strongest after BPR, and then there comes the normal fair value gap. Okay, unfilled fair value gap, that's a normal fair value gap, and it comes at the last. Right, so you can find this template on my Twitter feed, or you can just screenshot it here. So this is gonna be the last setup that I'm gonna be tape reading. If this one fails, this stream, I'll close the stream, and you will see me like streaming tomorrow at 8:20 to 8:30 period. In between that time period, I'll come and stream. But this is gonna be it for today if this setup is getting failed. So this is a kind of retracement that I don't like to see. Why? Because there's a fair value gap, then there's an order block. Okay, I want to see like every other fair value gap that's standing right in front of us getting failed. And I'm not expecting price to revisit this swing high again. Okay, I'm not expecting to see a breaker block forming inside of this breaker again. Okay, if price is reaching all the way up there, I'm wrong, and it will just hit my stop loss. This is a fair value gap aligned with order block. Okay, that makes a fair value gap one of the strongest delivery signature from price. Okay, when a fair value gap is coming with the order block, and as you can see, there was another fair value gap above here, so price provided liquidity inside this fair value gap. Then there's another fair value gap here. So that's the reason that you are seeing this retracement. This small little retracement that you see right now is because of this fair value gap and then this order block right here. So I'll just trail my stop loss above this swing high. I'm not expecting to see price revisiting this swing. If it does that, then I'm not willing to take the risk anymore. So now let's just let this trade run. That's why I don't like to trade PM session, folks. Like look at the price action right now. In AM session, we see a lot more volatility because the macros are right next to each other. Okay, 8:20 to 8:30, 9:20 to 9:13, 9:50 to 10:10. Then there's 10:50 to 11:10. Then there's your silver bullet macro. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the AM session, where in PM session it's just like very less. And me personally, I very less of the time I traded like PM session for like, I think in my whole trade volume, and it's enjoyable to trade. Okay, whenever you execute in a trade, it just hits your, either hits your TP or stop loss. It doesn't consolidate or goes in a high resistance liquidity run if it's a clean day. Okay, that's why I prefer AM session over PM session. But in certain days it changes. Okay, like suppose there's high impact news coming in AM session, there's a lot of high impact news, and the PM session is clean, then I like prefer to trade the PM session. Wow, some of you like are taking this setup with high risk. Why are you guys doing that? If I lose this setup, trust me, it doesn't affect me. I'm gonna close my computer and I'm just gonna chill out, okay? But what about you? If you lose this setup as you are taking it with high risk, what's your emotion gonna be like after that? You are gonna be very emotional. So I don't know, why are you guys hurting yourself? Do you guys enjoy it? Like if I'm watching someone in streaming and then he's taking his setup, I will not push my button based on his setups, okay? I will not do that. If I'm willing to risk an amount of money, like suppose $200, okay, today I will only take trades based on HYDRA and I'm willing to lose that $200. If it's something like this, then it's okay. $200 is just your last money and you are just putting it on gambling on me. Don't do that, bro. Eric is asking, please remind us what time this afternoon macro is from and to. Afternoon PM session reversal macro is from 120 to 140. That's the macro that I use. ICT mentions it as like 110 to 140, but I found that in between 120 to 140, that's the period like when most of the clean setup forms. Okay, Renato is asking very nice questions like how basically like trading with higher time frame and executing on lower time frame, right, Renato? Yeah, so I'm basically gonna answer your question here on 5-minute chart. I'm not looking for any setup on 5-minute chart, okay? I'm watching these liquidity levels. So the narrative, my target is from the higher time frame, and I'm executing on lower time frame, right? Why on lower time frame? Because on lower time frame I can find high probability setup. On higher time frame it's just one setup, but on lower time frame there's a lot of setup. Okay, the inversion here, okay, on 5-minute chart you can see it's an inversion, and I know it's an inversion, but when I drop down to like 3-minute chart I can see another fair value gap here, so I executed again here. Okay, I pyramided my entry, and what was the logic? On higher time frame I can see a inversion, on lower time frame I can see a fair value gap. So both of the things are coming together and I can see a strong level of target. So what's stopping me from executing in this trade? Nothing. And I know it's a high probability setup because of the relative equal lows that are resting right here. Look at the delivery, folks. I really don't like PM session because of this market becomes like slow. I know where it's going, but me personally, I like my things fast. Whenever I'm executing on AM session, if I'm right, price will just hit my TP in 5 minutes, max 5 minutes. I have record that price hit my TP in 2 minutes, okay, 1 minute. I see that was a 2-hour trade. I even did one trade live. It was like 3 minutes, I guess. Yeah, in 3 minute price just gave us like more than 2 hour. It was in live stream. You can go back and watch it. So yeah, when you are right in AM session, when I'm right in AM session, I expect to see my trades are getting done in just 5 minutes. Here, I've been holding for more than 10 minutes now, right? Yeah, I executed at this candle at 30, exactly at 13:30, and now it's 50, so 20 minutes, really? So I'm just gonna mitigate my loss more, and I'm gonna put my stop loss above this candle's body now that I got a partial. Okay, I don't want to see price coming all the way up. You know what, I'm just gonna put it in my entry. I don't want to. This fair value gap is our last line of defense. If price is coming all the way up here, okay, it can revisit this fair value gap. It's allowed, but it's not allowed to go above this order block that is standing here. So my stop loss is in a logical, is in a reasonable place, and my target is below this low. Okay, I see price coming all the way down here, but I'm not gonna target here. Why are you guys spamming the chat? Duke, bro, I understand that you want to talk with me. Then just try to write it like in one single time, rather than just typing each sentences again and again separately. Because when you do that, okay, I don't see other people's chat, what they're saying. There's a new week opening gap. Yeah, it's way down here. So I think our TP can be below this low, okay? That's a very clean level, and I want to see price clearing these levels out. So what happened today? I came with a bias bullish, and I'm now executing and trading on a bearish price action, right? Yeah, what a coincidence. I executed from a bearish breaker, then from a bearish fair value gap, really? And I came with a mindset of pushing button in a bullish price action. Yeah, that's what happens when you truly see liquidity. Okay, I wasn't looking at ES, and on Dow there was no sell side liquidity. Like, there wasn't relative equal lows on Dow. Yeah, all the liquidity that was here on Dow, it was here. Okay, but Dow is slow. It's delivering as I wanted it to, right? I wanted to see like price clearing these levels out. It's doing that, but it's in a high resistance liquidity run, and it's not doing it inside of our macro. It's just like being choppy. How do you guys trade on PM session? It's so boring. Forex for living, shout out to him, a big shout out to him. He does provide very good educational content, so you guys can check him out in his Twitter feed. It goes by his own name here, so I'm just gonna highlight his tweet message here. Yeah, check his Twitter account out. He does pretty cool stuff, and it's very educational, very helpful. I personally like it. And thank you, bro. Thank you for being here. Basically, I don't trade PM session. You know what? Like, it's my first time I'm doing a stream on PM session. So let's see what happens. I just hate this kind of price action. It's so slow. Yeah, I think it's easier for learning, right? Because price is like reacting from each PD area levels slowly. It's reaching to a fair value gap, then it's delivering slowly. But I prefer high delivery, aggressive delivery with high volume. So this fair value gap, okay, should not be broken. That's what I'm watching. There's relative equal lows down here. This fair value gap is our last line of defense. If it's going above here, I have my stop loss here. No risk, price will just go above my stop loss, and I already got a partial, right? The partial was very nice in this level. Like after price gave me a partial, it just reversed, right? So yeah, why I took a partial here? That's a question that no one asks because of the order block that is here. Okay, this small little bearish candle, a lot of you will not consider it as an order block, but me personally, I don't see any order block here. Okay, any bullish order block, I don't see any. This delivery on 5-minute chart, it was aggressive and it was delivering towards buy side liquidity. All of this candle were on upside, only one candle. Okay, so I put a limit order here for a partial at this candle. Price came all the way down here, got rejected from it. Because of that, suppose there was another bullish order block right here, there was another bullish order block, and then it got failed, I would have not taken a partial here. As there's only one bullish order block, I took it because of that. Okay, and you may think like it's a new thing, or you may not heard about it, but if you look at your own chart and find out like where price is delivering aggressively and leaving one order block, whenever price does that, price uses that specific order block to reverse, okay, to get support like this it did here. Suppose it's a higher time frame order block, this suppose it's a daily order block, okay, and this price action is on daily. As soon as price hits this order block, you can drop down to the lower time frame and you can expect to see this kind of price action happening on lower time frame, right? Just for a second, imagine that's a daily chart. Okay, I'm just gonna hide my execution so thing can look a little bit clear, because folks, like the same price action that you see right here will repeat on every other time frame. So for a moment, imagine that's a daily chart. This is the only bullish order block that you see, so you should mark it. Okay, and what you should do after you mark it, once price reaches to these order blocks, you should drop down to the lower time frame and then you should mark the nearest. Okay, note the word I'm using, the nearest PD area in premium. What was the nearest PD area here in premium? This fair value gap, right? So you drop down to suppose like 15-minute chart and you see a fair value gap like this, and there's your order block from the daily chart, this one single order block. You mark it. This reversal can make you profitable, hugely profitable. If you execute on 3-minute chart, this drop alone, this delivery towards buy side alone can give you like 2 hour, minimum 2 hour, right? So if price is fractal, the same thing will keep repeating on every other time frame. So you can learn from your charts like this. So this fair value gap is our last line of defense. I don't want to see it getting broken, and I don't like this price action. Like, look at this equal low, whenever price generates relative equal lows, and I have a narrative that allows me to see, or I'm expecting to see, these equal lows are getting taken out. Okay, and when price does not do that, it just manipulates. Okay, price likes to hit my stop loss, and I basically am an equal high and low trader. What do I mean by that? I like to target those levels. I don't buy from a double bottom, double top. I don't sell from it. Okay, I just target it. Like I did an execution on crypto yesterday. I shared that execution on my Twitter feed. You can go ahead and check it out. Like, there was hourly relative equal lows, and then I dropped down to the like 3-minute chart and I executed there. by targeting those hourly relative equal lows. On hourly chart, there was a very small move, but when I was in 3-minute chart, there was a more than a 2-hour move. So you can check that out. It's on my Twitter feed. Forex for a living, bro, I will highly suggest you to do like streams, even if it's like an analyzing chart or anything like that, because stream gives a lot of subscriber. Okay, that's a small tip for anyone who wanna open a YouTube channel. In just 2 months, okay, my channel came around like 10k subscribers. So from each live stream I get like 100 subscribers from each live stream. If I do like live stream for 2.5 hours, so in between that time period hundreds of people are subscribing. So live stream is like so beneficial and effective if you want to like boost your subscribers. So you can do that. Forex for a living if you're planning to stay on YouTube, and it does work. That's a small cheat. It does work on YouTube. Is going for buy stop by generating relative equal lows like this. I'll not buy from these relative equal lows, and my stop loss is in a very reasonable place, right? It's here. I think it's gonna hit my stop loss. Awful price action. Why did I came live today? I'm never doing a live session on PM again. Okay, price hit our breaker block again, so it can retrace a little bit inside of it, and it's okay, but I'm not expecting to see price hitting the mean threshold of this order block on 5-minute chart. Okay, the mean threshold of this order block, my stop loss is above that, okay, near to it. So let's see how price delivers. Yeah, this fair value gap failed, so this was our last line of defense. At least we got a partial, right? Yes, so it hit our stop loss. Anyway, this was an awful price action. In AM session, if I'm targeting lows like this at 9:30, price will do a move. That Judas move will clear the level out. In just 1 or 2 minutes, I'll be done. So I prefer AM session over PM, and I learned my lesson today. I don't like it. This price action, it sucks. It's not good at all. Look at the delivery. Anyway, I managed this trade well. I think I did very well. I executed here, then I pyramided here at this level. Took a partial here, moved my stop loss to entry. So I'm satisfied with my trading. But let's see from where price actually drops, okay, or if it's dropping at all. I still want to tape read. I want to tape read like that's a very clean level, right? These relative equal lows that are resting right here, there's a lot of sell side liquidity below these lows. So I'm still gonna wait and see from where price chooses to deliver. I took like 2 trades and both came out loss. One at least gave a partial. That's a good thing. So price revisiting our fair value gap again, and now that it got support from this bullish order block, let's see if price clears out this swing high here. Bro, I really don't like this price action. I'm leaving, okay? And before I leave, it's an awful price action. I don't really like the price action like this. If you watch my live stream, come and watch when I trade on AM session. Price action is way more volatile like than this, way more clear. It's not clean to me because it's not respecting relative equal lows levels. It's just hitting a PDRA on higher time frame and then it's reversing. It's not clearing out these levels. Anyway, this is gonna be it for today. Before I close, I just want to talk about dollar again. Okay, the template that I made. I wanted to make a video about it, but anyway, let's do it when I'm live. And what I'm gonna be doing about it is like, I'm gonna drop down to lower time frame after marking. It's gonna be hindsight analysis, so if you are not interested in that, you can close here. All of the analysis that I'm gonna be doing here is gonna be hindsight, but the main call that I made, it was on Twitter and it wasn't a hindsight call. So our breaker block is here. Let me mark the things first, and then I'm gonna drop down to the lower time frame and we'll see together like from which specific levels price got support. There's a unicorn setup. There's a unicorn breaker block that is coming with a fair value gap. So I want to see with you all like from where specifically on lower time frame per price got support. Okay, this little manipulation, I want to see like from where price actually got the orders. So lower low, our stop hunt is here, and then this new lower low, and these up close candles are working here as a breaker block here, right? So I'm just gonna mark the two of them, and this is the fair value gap. The interesting part, this fair value gap, but I'm not gonna be marking it because on lower time frame I don't think like there's any significant in this. I just want to see what price did here in this fractal. So I'm just gonna be highlighting this fractal. So this is our higher time frame breaker block. Okay, this gray shaded box, just keep that in mind. Now I'm gonna drop down to 4-hour chart, and I'm gonna see like where exactly price got support from which PD area. So there's a fair value gap inside breaker block, right? But what's so significant about this? What can I learn from it? There's other fair value gap above this breaker block. So which fair value gap price choose to get support from? From this one? No. From this one? No. The lowest fair value gap right here, that was inside of the daily chart, not on the 4-hour chart. Okay, so price didn't stop in 4-hour. Rather, it respected the daily breaker blocks, okay, from the daily chart. So these levels, this gray shaded box is just identifying, marking the daily breaker block. So price came all the way down inside the daily candles body, daily breaker block body, and there you can see a fair value gap. I'm just gonna mark it. And the bodies of the candles, watch the bodies of the candles. Are they respecting this fair value gap? Okay, how do you know price is respecting a fair value gap? Forget about the wicks. Wicks that you see is just a manipulation. Okay, there's 3 phases in price action: accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So accumulation of each candle is here, manipulation, then distribution towards the buy side liquidity. That's how it's happening. So the manipulation phase, you don't want to look at it. You want to look at from where price is distributed. Okay, and from manipulation you want to learn like from where price manipulated and how price did it. This fair value gap, how do you know that price is respecting this fair value gap? You measure this fair value gap like I do, and you mark the mean threshold of a fair value gap in the lower quadrant. From these 2 levels, okay, if you are expecting bullish scenario like here, that's a BC. If you are expecting to see price getting support from a BC, you want to mark the midway and the lower quadrant of that BC, and you want to see if price is closing its candle's body above the lower quadrant and the midway. Ideal scenario is price closing its candle's body above the midway. Okay, as long as price is closing its candle's body above the midway, you can expect to see a aggressive delivery like it did here. Okay, and if price is closing candle's body below the lower quadrant, you want to see like if price is then coming back up and closing its candle's body above the midway and then moving higher. If it's doing that, it's basically using the lower quadrant to get support like it did here. If I put the gun box again, right, and if I move the levels right here, look at this midway. The bodies are respecting the midway, and whenever you see this in a fair value gap happening, you should expect to see aggressive delivery. Okay, price did actually hit the lower quadrant 0.25 level right here, but it was using these levels as a support. Now I'm gonna be dropping down to 1 hour time frame, and I would like to see like in 1 hour what price actually did. So before I do, I'm just gonna mark BC from 4 hour. Then this breaker from the daily chart. You guys are still trading on ES. We're just consolidating, chopping around. If I was holding my trades, I would have like closed it by now. Like each delivery on ES is generating emotions inside me, right? It's not looking good, so I'm not gonna be taking any participation on ES. Look at that. If you are looking at ES, just close it. A setup will always be there, folks. I'm gonna be tape reading streaming tomorrow too. I lost 2 trades here. I only need one trade to make me profitable again, to put me in profits again. I can lose 2 more trades tomorrow to go back to my original balance. Okay, so if I'm losing 4 trades, I only need 1 winner if I have a risk management in work. And as you can see, I lost that trade that I executed before, right? But did I lose any money? No. I mitigated my stop loss. I trailed my stop loss. I managed my trade well. So whatever loss that I had from the previous trade, it got mitigated in my last trade as I got a partial. Do you see the magic? Yeah. And no one talks about this, and I'm not interested in talking about these kind of things. Just focus on chart, okay? Because that's where the actual trading is, in risk management, controlling your emotion. Did you saw me getting emotional? I lost 2 trades in front of you. No, I basically don't fucking care. And I managed this so fucking well that it even mitigated my last loss. Anyway, let's focus on here. Fair value gap here. Okay, so I'm now gonna drop down to the 1 hour chart. And I want to see like what price did here. So there are a couple of lows, swing low right here. Price came down, went below these lows, offered sell side liquidity down here, right? And then it moved towards the buy side liquidity. So other than that, I don't see it. The candle's body is highly respecting this fair value gap, which is coming with these order blocks, right? So a good question can be like, HYDRA, how do I know that a price will just stop there and it will respect this fair value gap? Okay, how do I know that? From the higher time frame. Your narrative should always come from higher time frame, like the daily chart. I know that from daily chart is bullish. Now what I need to know is like on lower time frame, which PD area will deliver that price. And as you can see, this fair value gap inside the daily breaker, okay? Daily breaker. And as you can see, on lower time frame, maybe on lower time frame, price is respecting what is inside of the daily candle's body. So the precision is always going to be inside of the daily candle, as you can see here. So that's basically it. Price respected couple of breaker blocks, fair value gaps inside that breaker block, daily breaker block. There was a BC, right, on 4 hour chart, and price respected this BC very well. It didn't even close the candle's body below the midway, And when price does that, we expect to see aggressive delivery, as it happened here. Very aggressive delivery towards the buy side liquidity. And yeah, that's basically it. So this is gonna be it for today, folks. I will highly suggest you to analyze your own chart with your own model, okay, from this delivery. Okay, there's nothing wrong analyzing your chart in hindsight. You want to learn from it. You want to see like how price did use this fair value gap to deliver towards buy side liquidity, what levels inside this breaker block on lower time frame activated this bullish run towards buy side liquidity. You want to look at those levels. Okay, you want to mark those levels. You want to journal, and when price shows this pattern again in price, you want to see that if those levels are in this price section. Okay, if those levels are there, you want to mark it, and you want to see how price is reacting from it. That's how you learn, through tape reading like this, through demo trading. Okay, folks, so this is gonna be it for today. I'm gonna be catching you and talking with you all tomorrow. I hope I'll be doing a live stream tomorrow. So yeah, I'll hope to see you there, and I hope you learned something from today. I think you learned like how to manage your trade even when you were losing, right? Well, with confidence. I showed you that I lost a position, then I managed the second position, and that position gave me a partial that mitigated my loss from the last position. That's how you do it. So today I didn't actually took any loss, zero loss. Anyway, folks, I hope you learned from my trade management something. I hope you found it insightful. With that saying, I'm closing it here. Peace.